2 miles beneath the restless Atlantic, where light cannot reach and sound dissolves into eternity, lies a room frozen in time. Its chandeliers no longer burn, its violins no longer sing, yet the ghosts of an unfinished meal remain. Silver. Cutlery still rests beside crystal glasses, and fragments of food, darkened, dissolved, and preserved by the cold, cling to the porcelain plates. This is the dining hall of the Titanic, and tonight we descend into its silence. April 14th, 1912. The RMS Titanic sailed across the moonlit Atlantic, her dining saloons alive with laughter, music, and the soft chime of crystal. Waiters glided between tables like shadows in white, serving the world's most luxurious feast. A 10-course dinner prepared for those who believed themselves untouchable. On the first-class tables, roasted squab rested beside asparagus tips. Delicate consommé shimmered in fine china bowls. Lobster salad, foie gras, and cold asparagus were paired with chilled white wine. There was punch romaine, a frozen citrus sorbet served between courses, followed by lamb with mint sauce, roast duck with apples, and the famed Waldorf pudding glistening under the golden lamps. For many, it was a dinner like no other, a celebration of arrival, of luxury, of life itself. They did not know that it would be their last. Now, more than a century later, cameras drift through the darkness. What once glittered with light and laughter now sleeps beneath layers of silt. The dining hall, once filled with warmth, is a cathedral of silence. Chairs lie scattered. Glasses half buried in sand still catch the faint reflection of a diver's lamp. And on one long mahogany table, something impossible remains. The outline of plates, fragments of cutlery, and the faint shape of a last meal. The salt water has erased nearly everything, yet traces endure. A bottle of red wine, its label faint but legible. A spoon bent at its neck. A dinner roll turned to stone by time. These remnants, silent yet eloquent, speak of a night when elegance met eternity. The dining saloon was the heart of Titanic's grandeur, 114 feet long, lined with oak paneling and ornate columns. It could seat over 500 guests, beneath electric chandeliers and a ceiling painted to resemble a soft morning sky. It was a masterpiece of human confidence, a temple to taste and refinement. When the iceberg struck, the music stopped. But the tables remained, standing in eerie calm as the ship tilted. Plates slid, glasses shattered, and candles were extinguished one by one. Some passengers clutched the tablecloths to steady themselves as water began to rise. Others never left their seats, believing rescue was moments away. And when the great vessel finally gave in to the sea, the dining room was swallowed whole, its chandeliers torn away, its fine china scattered like stars across the abyss. Decades later, the world would rediscover this ghostly banquet. When deep-sea explorers first entered the dining area, their lamps revealed something astonishing. The arrangement of the tables could still be traced beneath the sediment. Silver forks gleamed, faintly from the mud. Crystal decanters lay sideways, intact but empty. In one corner, a dessert dish was found fused to the table, a crust of crystallized sugar still visible. Samples revealed traces of apple and cinnamon. It might have been the remains of a pastry, perhaps served moments before the collision. Elsewhere, what seemed like a darkened smudge on porcelain proved, under forensic light, to be the remains of beef à la mode, a dish once plated with pride for the ship's elite. Each discovery was more than archaeology. It was an act of resurrection. Every spoon, every shattered plate, whispered of the lives that once dined here, their laughter now replaced by the endless hum of the deep. The Titanic's dining hall is not silent, not truly. The ocean hums through the corridors, shifting. The drapes that still cling to the windows. Fishes drift like pale ghosts among the tables, their movement stirring the silt in slow, graceful clouds. When explorers' lights sweep across the room, the water seems to shimmer, as though something is remembering. Perhaps it's imagination, or perhaps it's memory, but many divers have claimed to feel it, the presence of the dinner that never ended. They speak of faint impressions, the scent of something sweet, a note of wine on the current, the echo of distant laughter that fades when the torches dim. Science offers no explanation. The ocean keeps its mysteries close. Historians later pieced together the last menu of Titanic's first-class dinner, recovered from a passenger's pocket. The ink was faded, the paper warped by salt, yet the words survived. Consommé Olga. Filet mignon Lily, poached salmon with mousseline sauce, chicken lyonnaise, squab en cresse, cold asparagus, Waldorf pudding. It was not just a meal, it was a statement of power, of human confidence, of civilization carried into the wild sea, and yet beneath those same waters, the remains of that opulence now rest in ruin, plates layered in coral. Goblets filled not with champagne but with sand. Time has turned the grandest dining hall in the world into an underwater mausoleum of elegance. Each plate tells a story. The spoon a mother held as she fed her child, the knife an old man used to carve his final meal, the cup from which a newlywed sipped her wine. These objects, small and ordinary, have become sacred relics of humanity's greatest tragedy of pride. They are not merely artifacts, they are echoes of heartbeat and breath, of hunger and hope. The food may have vanished, the flavors forgotten, but the moment endures, sealed forever in the cold cathedral of the sea. Today, robotic cameras continue to explore the wreck, mapping every inch of the dining hall. New discoveries surface quietly. The handle of a silver teapot, the rim of a broken plate, the ghostly shadow of a menu embossed in gold. The water has preserved more than objects. It has preserved emotion. The Titanic's dining room once, filled with conversation and clinking glasses, now exists in another realm, where time does not flow, where the same dinner seems to wait eternally for guests who will never return. In that deep, blue stillness, every beam of light feels like an intrusion upon memory. The meal is long over, yet it continues, an eternal supper set beneath the sea, where silence has become the final course. Perhaps that is the truest mystery of the Titanic. Not how it sank, but how so much life remains within its death. The dining hall stands as a monument to a vanished age. The echo of laughter, the shimmer of chandeliers, the taste of a meal that ended too soon. And somewhere, among the drifting curtains and scattered silverware, the ghosts of that night still dine, their glasses raised in a toast we can no longer hear. The ocean remembers everything, even the Last Supper of the Titanic.